Welcome, everyone, to episode 424 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Corey.
I'm Shane.
And this is Brian.
What's up, guys? So we're going to be talking about Gears 5. We have Shane and Brian joining us to fill in for the main segment because I don't know about you, Corey, but I didn't play an absolute ton. I played a bit of the campaign. Horde mode, obviously, we'll talk about because we did that last night. What did you guys play of Gears?
Go ahead, Shane.
We played Horde the other night for a little while. Me and Corey played the Horde with one of Corey's friends, and then we played a campaign for a little while.
Okay.
Listeners will know the friend that Shane is talking about as Eric.
Yes.
Original Eric.
Host Eric.
Yes. Yeah, so I did the same, and then we did an escape, and then just a little bit of the campaign. With me, though, like, my Gears legacy isn't that strong. I definitely played the first Gears a little bit. I honestly don't remember a single thing about it. I think I played Gears 2 campaign maybe briefly, but after that, I don't think I've touched Gears until Gears 5. So it's good to have people who are a little bit more familiar with all the games, right? Shane, Brian? Counting on you. No pressure.
Myself a little bit. I was super hardcore into Gears 1, but then as it kind of went on, the series kind of got convoluted and whatnot. So I drifted away a little bit. But after coming off the recently released Remnant, as far as like shooting mechanics and whatnot of that game, even though it's kind of not really a AAA title,
Yeah.
it's hard, honestly, for Gears to match up to that because that game was extremely satisfying to play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
I've heard a little bit about that game. It seems like something that would be right up my alley, but I haven't tried it yet.
it's got a great hook.
Okay. Shane, what's your experience with Gears?
I played the first and second one quite a bit. I think I played them all the way through to beat the campaign. Third, I kind of died down, and then the fourth one played for a little bit, and then this one I haven't played much. I only played it because it was free on
Yep.
Gamepass.
Yeah, that's why I played it. I never would have bought it. I'm glad it's free because
It's a consistent theme for
Right.
sure.
yeah. So I played the first, second, and third Gears. The only one I played online was I played 4 too, but I played the campaigns in all of them. The only one I played online at all was 3. That was the only one I was able to get into online. 4, I played most of the campaign. I didn't end up finishing it, and then this one, I at least plan on finishing the campaign. I won't play online probably, but Horde mode, which we talked about, and I want to try what was it? Control? Was that the other mode? Escape. Control's a game. Yeah, Escape. I would like to try that at some point too because I've heard good things about that. So, but yeah, Gears 5 is going to be our main topic. Does anyone have anything you want to tease? Anything new that they played that they want to talk about later on in the episode?
No.
I think Remnant would be the big one. Me and Brian have been playing that quite a bit lately.
I've got about 40 to 50 hours into that one.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, if you guys are still on during the what we played segment, I'd love to hear about that game because it looks really cool.
Huh.
As for me, I'm still playing Astral Chain.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the only new thing I'm playing. I'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah. All right, so Gears 5. First off, I did want to say it's kind of being celebrated a little bit as being accessible, which I did notice right away. So unlike other past like Gears games, this one's on PC, but it's also on Steam. So it's available to more people than I mean, Steam has 120 million active users. So it's available there. It's available on PC Game Pass, and then obviously Xbox Game Pass, and then you could just buy it straight up if you want. But when I first logged into it the first time, it asked me to set up the Xbox adaptive controller, which I thought was cool. I guess it fully implements all of that stuff for disabled gamers or people who just have special needs that they need to play the game. But also one thing that I really like is that it allows to me being terrible at shooters with a controller. I can use the keyboard and mouse on the console, which is fantastic. So that was one thing I noticed right away. But let's talk about Horde mode first of all, because I think that's a lot of people's favorite mode in the game. Me and Corey and Eric and a couple friends actually beat Horde mode last night. We made it through all 50 levels, and it was a blast. So, Corey, want to give your thoughts on that? You had a little trouble connecting at first too.
Yeah, I'm a little soured on the whole thing because my mic wasn't working out, and everybody was giving me a hard time for the echo and
Yeah, we had a
everything.
really
So
bad echo. It
well,
wasn't bad. It was as clear as day. Just like a second later.
yeah, I don't know.
I've
what
never
was
heard
going
that
on.
before.
It was really frustrating too because I was really looking forward to playing Horde mode. We had planned it, and I showed up, and I basically just quit. I just left my character there and went and walked the dog and said, "Oh, if I'm still alive when I get back, I'll play without being in party chat." But yeah, when I got back, I just ended up figuring out that I could use the PC Xbox app to join the voice chat with my PC microphone, which eliminated all the issues, which was really nice. But yeah, I got away from the original question, Dan, because I forgot what it was. Something
Yeah,
about
what were your
Horde
thoughts on Horde mode? I mean, you being probably the least experienced Gears player, what's the hook there
yeah.
for you, and what
mode.
do you think of it?
It reminds me of zombies from Call of Duty a little bit, in that you're building some fortifications, you're co-oping with your boys and just slaying waves of enemies. I had a great time with Horde. I did get a little worn out by the end of it. I think the 3-hour runtime for
Did take a
that
long
is a
time,
little
yeah.
long for just one gaming session. But I appreciate the challenge. That I appreciate that it is a bit of a marathon, and you're not just having to beat the enemies, but you're having to last that long and having to find a 3-hour chunk out of your day in order to do it. That's challenging in and of itself in this day and age. So, yeah, I had a great time.
Okay. Well, what do you guys think about Horde mode? Shane, I'll start with you. What's your thoughts so far?
I love the whole waves of enemies kind of thing, whether it be zombies or gears. The one thing that I was not a fan of, so like the repair tool, having that replace one of your weapons, which is one of the weapons that I used the most, was that Voltok or whatever it was called, that pistol.
Yep.
So having to repair it with that, I would rather have been a tool instead of a weapon. But I love the Horde mode. I think it's my favorite mode out of all of them. But I mean, other than that whole tool thing, I think that the Horde mode was awesome.
Yeah, I feel like it's nice for someone like me too, who's not going to get into the competitive side. I'm too old and don't have enough time to spend a lot of time, getting good, for lack of a better term, to make it fun, And I, being behind the skill curve and stuff, like it's just fun to, like you said, you join a group of your friends and slay the locust. That's what it is, locusts. I've got so many games going on in my head. I can't really. Anyway, Brian, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, like I've played a lot of Horde in the previous games. This one, not so much. But like you said, it's an easy accessibility point if you're not in the competitive edge of things. So that factor I like about it a lot. But with the newly added escape mode, it's a new twist. But one thing I've noticed across all modes, not so much campaign because I haven't dabbled in it, is it seems like the difficulty curve's a little steeper now. I mean, even on the easiest difficulty of whether it's escape or Horde, it's easy at the beginning, but it progressively gets harder, and it's quite a spike that I've realized. I mean, I didn't play 50 waves like you guys did, but
yeah, no, we noticed that too. We played on intermediate, which we had some inexperienced Gears players too, but it seems like they got the hang of it pretty quick. But yeah, it was hard, and it wasn't even the bosses. Like we had 2 or 3 rounds where all of us like got killed at least once. It was just a random round, just the way I don't know if it's the enemies that spawn, but it seemed like in the boss wave we were ready and effective, and even though I think even someone said when we were playing, like, wow, that was it for round 50, wave 50. That was like the easiest one we had in a while, wasn't it, Corey?
It felt like it. Yeah, that last boss was really easy to kill, and I don't know if it's just because everybody was targeting it and knew where the soft spots were or what, but yeah, he went down easy.
Yeah, they threw a big softball for us to knock out of the park for the last round, which was nice, but because like you said, we were all a little fatigued at that point. It was like 11:30, and to be on edge for that long, it's tiring.
Yeah, and just going back to that last boss, I really like that boss design though, because I love shooting the pustules or whatever you want to call them, those little gooey things that explode on the guy. It's
Yeah.
such a rewarding feeling.
And then they burst and they spit goo all over you.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see more fortification things. Like there really was just the turret, the decoy, and then the barrier thing. There
Yeah.
wasn't much to choose from.
I agree, and I also could not figure out how to level anything up.
Yeah, the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one in our party that knew how to do that stuff, it seemed like, was Eric and Jeff. So I let them handle it, mostly because when I was trying to have Eric explain it to me, I was playing on my computer, because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was on the computer.
Okay.
Which is cool that you can do that. Again, I
Yeah.
can play my preferred way. Everyone else can play their preferred way. But yeah, he would tell me what buttons, and it was obviously different with me playing out with a keyboard and mouse than it was on the Xbox controller. So I just kind of left that stuff and let them handle it. So yeah, let's hear about. Go ahead, Corey.
I was just going to bring up one last point about
Yeah.
Horde mode when we were talking about it being accessible to people who aren't super competitive at shooters. I am not very good at shooters at all, but I kept finding myself consistently the MVP towards the end of our time playing, which I actually really appreciated because I knew deep down that I am not nearly as good at shooters as everyone else that was playing, but I was able to use my noggin and strategize a little bit and just make sure I had the best weapon for any situation. So I always made sure I had the boom shot, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the boom shot, and then that other gun that starts with an M, that's like
Yeah,
the battle rifle in
yeah,
Halo.
yep. That gun's
Yeah,
amazing.
Between those two, I was just dishing out so much damage, just pretty much staying put and just picking guys off, just headshot after headshot. And that seemed to work really well. I'm also really reckless, which I'm sure Shane has noticed when we play campaign mode.
Yeah.
Which it's a bad habit that I can't kick, just because I get too complacent and I just want to like do something, so I just rush out. And
Gears is not the game where you do that. Gears is all about
No.
taking cover. So
yeah,
this is not Doom, Corey. Come on,
no, I know.
we gotta
I
stay
know.
moving.
But also, like, I don't know if it was Corey or Dan that said it. Firstly, about it's like zombies, and that brings another point. Like Horde mode, even though Gears kind of like put the staple into it. I think it was Gears 2. I don't think it was 3. I'm not positive. But there's so many other games that do it just as good, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say Gears is bad, but so many companies are jumping on board that similar game mode because it's so addicting, so successful.
It is. I think addicting is the right word.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's hear about escape mode. I don't really know anything about that other than I saw a trailer for it at E3, but I didn't really understand what was going on. And I swore up and down I was going to look it up, and I just never did. So let's hear about that.
Well, the big thing I hate about it is that ammo is extremely scarce. It is really hard to find ammo.
Oh, even more than the Horde mode.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Big time.
That's hard.
So it starts with I'm not sure the name of the locust or the enemy or whatever.
Swarm.
But
I think it's a swarm.
The swarm, the thing that like sucks you up and yeah. So it starts with you putting a breathing apparatus in, and then you get that creature's attention, and he sucks you up and takes you back to the hive, and then it cuts to you putting what I think is a bomb down, and then the idea is that you have to because you cut out of like your cocoon or whatever, and then you try to escape and go through the enemies to get to the end. But ammo is extremely hard to find, to the point that you have to check with all your teammates every time you do find ammo to make sure or see who needs it the most and give it to them. But it's fun. I still liked Horde mode better though.
Okay.
Brian, I think Brian's played Escape more than I have.
Yeah, I've played a few rounds of Escape. Like you said, the ammo is super scarce. Again, the difficulty is a little steep, probably because of the ammo scarcity. But you need a solid 3 people to play. Like you can't have one person, lagging behind, because then your whole team's thrown off. But it's the big selling point of that mode too is that the maps are procedurally generated, so it gives it a lot of replayability.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I think they have I think what they plan on doing is every week they're going to construct like a pre-made map. Right now I think it's called the Hive, and that'll stay for the entire week, and there'll be certain objectives you have to complete within that, and they'll just cycle that. But otherwise everything else is procedurally generated.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
Okay. Has anyone done any of the competitive online, the normal whatever or 4 versus 4, or whatever it ends up being.
I played a few
Not-
matches.
How was it?
I mean, it's Gears. I mean,
Yeah.
if you like Gears, it's there. But I mean, it's not my favorite competitive scene.
Yeah. As much as I appreciate Gears for being slower paced, that doesn't work for me in competitive. Like I'm much better at the faster pace. It's just I don't know. It throws me off. I'm much better at something that's a little faster.
I agree with. I think it's because in Gears your movement's a little more restricted,
Yeah.
so it doesn't feel as good. It's not as rewarding to play competitively online.
Yeah, that could be.
That's one thing, yeah, for sure, is the hit detection. Like in comparison to like a Call of Duty kind of game, like a first-person shooter, when you shoot someone, it's much more satisfying. Gears, it's very spongy.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like that oomph to it.
Yep. That pop,
Yeah.
that tearing of flesh.
There you go.
All right. Any other thoughts on that on the online stuff and co-op stuff? They have.
I haven't played much with the online. It's gotten so bad that with all these games that are played competitively, that if you can't devote, every waking hour to playing it,
You're behind.
you're not going to do well. Yeah.
Yeah,
It sucks.
that's frustrating. I
Just
agree.
as a general thought, Dan,
Yeah.
I'll throw in the fact that I was pleasantly surprised with how well I think Gears came together.
Yeah, I totally
Um,
agree.
I only played it because it was free, as
Yeah.
was mentioned before. I would never have bought it or had any interest in it, but it was free and friends were playing it, so I gave it a try, and turns out I really liked it.
Yeah. Yep, totally agree. So we'll talk about the campaign a little bit. Can you do couch co-op with the campaign on Xbox?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I
Okay,
doubt
I'll have to look that up. I'm maybe it's Borderlands that I'm thinking of that you can do couch co-op on console, not on PC though.
Yeah,
Again, I
don't
get my games crossed because there's too much. But yeah, no, the campaign obviously continues off from the events of Gears 4. I don't really know what's going on in the story, even though they give a brief sort of synopsis of the Gears 4 campaign. But I have enjoyed the campaign so far. I've played, as I said, both on PC and Xbox, and it saves and cross saves over. So your progress, like I played most of it on PC, and then I wanted to test out the keyboard and mouse setup for the console version. Definitely doesn't play as nicely as it does on my computer. Xbox One X, I think it runs 60 frames per second, right, Corey? Like fully. I know.
Yeah, I think so.
I know all the online modes it's 60 frames per second regardless, but yeah, the Xbox One X does do 60 frames at 1080p. They prioritize frame rate over resolution, so that's always important to me is having the frame rate. So, but yeah, I mean, I like the campaign. It's got its set pieces, and it's definitely more open than other Gears games, which I didn't know if I would like, but it seems to be working out so far. I'm probably halfway through Act 2, so the beginning of Act 2 is kind of when you get the parasail thing that you the skiff. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, that you cruise around and collect weapons and stuff. And I don't know. It seems to be a well done campaign. I think it would be way more fun to play with somebody. I've only played by myself on that so far. But Corey, you guys played some co-op campaign, right?
Yeah, I think Shane and I we're in Act 2, right?
I'm not sure if it's Act 2. I know that we got to the skiff part and then made it a couple of the missions past that, but
Yeah.
we left
So
off.
In the lab.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's where
Yeah,
I
I think
just
you're
that's where I just finished.
We have to get the stim shots in order to go under the poisonous gas or
Yep.
whatever.
yeah. So that actually brings me to my biggest complaint with the campaign mode is the loading times.
Uh-huh.
Because when you die, it sucks to have to wait for that reload.
Oh,
In 2019, we're kind of spoiled in that stuff should happen almost instantaneously. But it's just minorly frustrating. I did have another complaint, but then I just realized I was an idiot. Shane and I, a couple times, were just really confused about what we were supposed to do. And I was like, where's the waypoint? Like, why doesn't it give us a waypoint? We have no idea where to go. And also, like, locating Shane was really difficult for me. I'm like, I have no idea where you are. Before I remembered, probably 3 hours into our playtime, that left bumper brings up
there's a button
the
for that.
waypoint. And, Yeah.
Most of the time it was that I was waiting at the door because you needed two people to open up the door. But we also got disconnected quite a bit. The first
Yeah,
day we
that
played with it.
Oh,
that first weekend there were a lot of connectivity issues, and I guess we weren't alone,
yeah.
which
Xbox
really
Live went down a
sucks.
few times, I think, over the weekend when it first came out.
Yeah,
Yeah, which really sucks for just the marketing of the Game Pass product. I mean, it's such a compelling offer, but I'm sure there were a lot of people that signed up for the first time just to play Gears, and that was their experience, which was probably not very good.
Yeah.
Because Shane, we were supposed to play like that Friday night or something like that, and just didn't because we couldn't get connected. I
yeah,
don't
we
remember.
played it for a couple hours, but it was tough to because it ended up disconnecting me and then deleted my entire save file. So if I want to start where we left off, I have to make sure Corey's playing and then
Ugh.
load into his game.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay, because it's saved from his thing and not to yours.
right.
Oh, okay. That's kind of annoying. Okay. Brian, have you played any of the campaign?
Maybe like a half hour. I just wanted to start it up to see what it was like. No, you asked if it was couch co-op, which I'm not sure, but I do know that I believe it's 3-player co-op because one person can be Jack.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I can speak to that because Shane and I were. It was kind of funny because Shane and I had plans to play the campaign uh, one night this week, and I was playing something else, and Eric jumped on, and then Shane got on, and Shane and I started to play Gears, and Eric wanted to join, which was fine, and we had him play, and we like booted up the campaign. He's like, "Wait, I thought we were doing Horde mode," and I was like, "No, Shane and I we're doing the campaign. You're welcome to join us." And he's like, I thought Dan was getting on and we were doing Horde mode. He had the wrong day. The day we
Oh,
planned to do Horde mode.
oh, he thought we were he was Tuesday. He thought it
Yeah,
was
he was
okay.
he was a day early.
Gotcha.
But he said he'd play a little campaign with us. So he was Jack, and it was actually really funny to watch him like go and pick things up as the Jack character and throw it at us. And I
That's
mean, just
funny.
Eric's comedic timing, like, here, have a rifle, and
Yeah.
like would just drop it. It was really funny.
Nice.
But yeah, I thought having somebody as Jack was really helpful. I know it was Eric's first time playing the campaign, so he wasn't really familiar with what Jack could do. But
Mhm.
just having somebody be really timely with those stims and all the other things, the shocks that he can do, I think would be really helpful to play through the campaign.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna play it on like super high difficulty levels.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm enjoying the campaign so far. As I said, I specifically went with. I wanted to test out the keyboard and mouse on the console, and it works really well. It's not quite as customizable. Like I don't think I can change my. It might just depend on my mouse. I'm using my older mouse and keyboard on my Xbox. I can't change the DPS or the whatever. Oh, I can't think of what it's called, but change the sensitivity of the mouse on the thing. And it didn't seem like I could click the
DPS.
middle. Yeah, click the middle mouse wheel to zoom in like I can on my computer, but it probably just has to do with me not setting it up right. I just plugged everything in and just went with the default, all the default settings and stuff, and it worked pretty well. The 30 frames, it's fine when you're sitting like on a couch. When you're up close to it, like a foot and a half away, Corey, I think you would have gotten motion sick from it.
I was worried about that when I first started playing.
Yeah, no, well, you have the One X, right? So you're
Yeah.
you're golden there. But yeah, I could see getting motion sick sitting a foot and a half away from the thing and at 30 frames with keyboard and mouse. It just took a few minutes of adjustment time. I stopped noticing it after a little while. It's obviously not as crisp, I guess, but
Sure.
it's playable. It's fully playable. I could, when I play upstairs, I'll play it on my Xbox with a keyboard and mouse. When I'm down here, I'll play it on a computer. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's ultimately a pretty great package, and even better that you essentially don't have to pay for it. Never would have played it otherwise. I might have bought it when it was on sale for like $20, like much further down the road, but I never would have played it and enjoyed it as much as I have. So
Yeah, I think it's worth. I mean, even if you're not a Game Pass subscriber, I would say it's probably worth a full price.
yeah, it's a lot of stuff to do there.
Yeah, and I'm also surprised, like between this and what was the most recent Halo 5,
Yeah.
which I also really liked. I'm thinking maybe I like shooters more than I thought I did. I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows? Shane, ultimate thoughts, Gears 5.
It was nice to kill the time until Borderlands comes out.
Amen.
Gotcha. Okay. Brian,
Similar thoughts.
similar
I mean,
thoughts.
I mean, Gears. Honestly, like if I would have went out and purchased it, I'm on the other end of the spectrum. If I would have went out and bought it with my hard-earned money, I probably would play it more. But knowing that it's free, I haven't dedicated as much time to it. Knowing that like I didn't pay a dime for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's a great game. It's a total package. It's got something for everybody, whether you're competitive, cooperative. I don't want to say leisurely because it can get quite intense, but
Yeah.
otherwise, it really does have something for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll at least at the very least finish the campaign, and then if anyone wants to ever jump on horde mode, I'd love to do that again. But yeah, like you guys, I'm not going to dedicate a ton of time for it. Move on to the next thing when that comes out. So, but yeah, ultimately good stuff. Go ahead, Corey.
Just quickly, one last thought that I just remembered that I wanted to share. One thing I really like about Gears 5 is the surprises. And I'll speak specifically to Horde mode, even though I think there's a lot of surprises in the campaign. But when some of those mini bosses come, like the first time that one guy grabbed Eric and started dragging him off the map, and I was able to get there and stop it. And then I thought I had killed it, but I didn't. And then it grabbed me and started dragging me across the map. Unfortunately, Eric wasn't too far, so Eric was able to kill it and save me. But yeah, my adrenaline just spiked, and I'm like, oh my god, what's it doing? Like, just horrifying. I had no idea like that could happen. It was pretty scary. And then same with when the bosses just like pick people up and kill them. I don't know. I just find that so much fun and so funny.
Usually you get that buffer where you get knocked down and then you can crawl to safety, but sometimes they'll just pick you up and splat your head.
Squish you. Yep, and you're dead.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that about the game. They're not afraid to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And even surprises in terms of cool weapons. I'm not familiar with the armory of the Gears games, but found some pretty cool guns that are fun to use, and each one is different enough from the other that they all have different use cases.
Yeah, and there's retro versions of all the weapons too, which are slightly different than the newer versions. And Corey, I think that one that you used in Horde mode is a new gun. I don't remember that from being in any of the other Gears games, but that one's a special weapon, the battle rifle or whatever. I can't remember the name of it either, but
starts with an M.
Yeah, M something or other.
McCoysta or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Anyway, Nibble Bits. Let's get into some game news, Corey. What do you got for us?
The Game Awards will be back in December, which is good. I like the Game Awards. I don't really care about the awards themselves, but the celebration of gaming and the announcements that come out is always welcome. I feel like a lot of publishers save some big announcements for that show. So,
yeah, I care about some of the awards. Game of the Year, obviously, I've always liked to know what that is.
Sure. You know what? Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't sell them so short because the list of nominees always contains games that I was mildly interested in or hadn't heard of that I will then check out just because they were nominated.
Yeah, and then you get like Celeste last year being in amongst huge AAA games last year was awesome. Of course, it was our personal game of the year for our podcast, so that was a nice thing to see.
Indeed,
it's always good production too. Surprisingly good production on that.
Yeah, it's good to see Keeley's still up to some good stuff, right?
Keeley, the Dorito Pope. Yes.
The other bit of news I had is that the Witcher Netflix series release date was leaked. According to this report, it looks like it's going to be December 17th, which is a Tuesday. I never like when things get released on Tuesdays, but it is what it is.
Isn't that the usual for like movies and DVDs and stuff? It's Tuesday release.
I don't know. Shane, you still buy movies?
Yeah, video games and movies usually release on Tuesdays, but the bigger titles have been for video games at least have been coming out on Fridays. Like I know Call of Duty's been starting, but Brian actually has Brian has 2 days off a week. and his days were based around video game releases. So he has Tuesdays and Wednesdays off.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, but now they've kind of changed it and life's
To
changed.
Fridays,
but
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, like next week, Link's Awakening comes out on Friday. So
I'm so excited for that game.
oh, me too.
Same.
They said I asked them if they're having a midnight release, and they are. They said that they plan on it. So
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Oh, maybe I'll have to. Because I actually am giving Amazon another chance to get me a game on time. I shouldn't, but if Best Buy is doing a midnight release, I might just do that. That would be great. I'll have to ask. I'll have to ask the local one.
Yeah, I might switch too, just for the midnight release experience.
Yeah, and to just be able to play it right away. All right, Corey. Anything else?
I've never played the original one.
It's really good. It's one of those games that holds up too. Like I'm playing A Link to the Past right now, which holds up really well. But it's kind of in the same vein. But yeah, I don't know, the graphics it's just charming. Corey, anything else?
I just read that Steam is updating its discovery algorithm to give better recommendations. I always thought Steam gave pretty good recommendations, but you see how a lot of these companies with algorithms to suggest things to you have improved over the years, and some of them are really freaking good. I don't know if you guys use Pocket, which is built into Firefox, but it's also an app, and I think you can install it in Chrome and everything. But basically all Pocket is if you're zipping through the internet and you see an article you want to read but you don't have time for it, you just click a button and it saves it in your Pocket, which you can view offline, which was nice when I lived in New York because I spent a lot of time on the subway and didn't always have service, so I could just call up all the articles I hadn't read. But anyway, their algorithm for articles is awesome. So good. Every day it's recommending articles that I'm really interested in reading. So
it's like my Google Newsfeed. Like it knows things that I want to read about, even though I didn't know I wanted to read about it.
Yeah. That day when I allowed Google to curate my news for me was revolutionary.
Yeah.
Because for so long I've been so opposed to, giving any information on myself out and allowing any sort of information to be captured, even though I know it's happening anyway. But that first time I opened up that Google News feed and saw all the things it thought I would be interested in, it was just probably more than a decade of Google collecting my information, just waiting for that moment. I said, yes, you can show me news.
And they were giddy, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure.
Giddy. Okay. Anything else, Corey?
Nope.
All right. I got a couple quick things. So the first one, and actually, Corey, I think you alerted us to this. The National Women's Hockey League has signed a 3-year streaming deal with Twitch, which will allow every game of the season to be streamed on the service starting opening night, October 5th, with the Buffalo Buttes versus Connecticut Whale and Boston Pride versus Metropolitan Riveters, all the way through the entirety of the Isabel Cup playoffs. It's the first broadcasting deal the league has signed, and broadcasting fees the league gets from Twitch will be split and distributed amongst the players. So,
wow,
I thought that was very cool.
I think so too.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. I plan on tuning in at least for that first game, the Buffalo Buttes.
I'll watch a couple games, definitely.
Yeah. Shane, you might be interested in this. One of the Buffalo Buttes players is from New Hartford.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Which is the town, next town over from where Shane and I live. So I have a little home rooting interest there, which is exciting. And I'm curious to see what this does for the league. It's women's hockey is really fun to watch because they're so competitive. So I feel like if it just had an outlet where people could stumble on it, I think it's a lot more likely to gain traction. And I think Twitch is a good spot for it because even like the Bob Ross stuff really took off on Twitch. Just that random, like Twitch is the perfect spot for just that random stuff that, throw spaghetti at a wall, see if it sticks kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to tune in for some of this. One thing they wondered is if the broadcast quality is going to be better. Apparently they had like mixed results with the broadcast, the announcers, and like some of the streams didn't have like the score. So they think with Twitch it's going to be a lot easier to handle all that stuff. So that'll also be good for the league.
That's cool.
So
it'd be cool if the broadcast team is like reading Twitch comments, like live streamers.
No, it
You know?
wouldn't be cool.
That would be
Because
awesome.
you know exactly the kind of stuff that's going to be said. So
Oh yeah.
you know exactly. I wonder if they can like close off chat. I know you can do subscriber only chat, so maybe they'll do that and not have. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work, but yeah. Anyway, so that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Next one is Super Nintendo games are now available on Nintendo Switch Online. Everyone's been waiting for this since the Switch came out. So now it's nice to have Super Nintendo games. But, me being me, what's next? Are we doing Nintendo 64 next, hopefully? GameCube next, hopefully?
Hope so.
I got my fingers crossed. Because it didn't seem like they were ever going to do Super Nintendo games when they first announced all this stuff. But here we are, so maybe next year it'll be Nintendo 64. But they also have a cool wireless controller that's the Super Nintendo controller, because playing those old games is much better when you're using the controller that it's with. I actually have my SNES Classic controller here.
Nice.
Classic.
I have a NES Classic on my desk at work.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's a great little system. But yeah, having everything on the Switch is obviously that much more convenient, so.
Is the controller available now, or
I don't think so.
Coming soon?
I feel like it's coming out either at the end of September or beginning of October. I could look
Is it first party or third party?
I think it's first party. I think Nintendo's manufacturing them. I know
It's
a lot.
$30 a piece.
Yeah. Okay. I know like a lot of their first parties, or they have a lot of deals with third party stuff. I actually bought one I'll talk about with Hori and PDP. Kind of do official, not official accessories. So. I think I had one more article that I wanted to read. Oh, yeah. World of Warcraft has been having DDoS attacks, especially over the weekend. I think that's script kiddies have to be careful with that one because, people love their WoW. And I feel like if that got out, or who did it got out, that would be trouble for them. So, in addition to Blizzard probably not loving that, so.
I don't know who gets their jollies doing that stuff. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
I guess it's just
the only thing I can think of is there was backlash because a lot of the popular Fortnite, we talked about this before we started, but a lot of the popular Fortnite streamers are playing World of Warcraft. So I wonder if it has something to do with that, with like 12-year-olds who can't watch their most popular Fortnite streamer play Fortnite. They don't want to watch WoW Classic. So, hey, let's DDoS Blizzard and
That's a good point. You're probably right.
It was just a scenario I invented in my head. There's probably no validity to it, but
I don't know. I like that. I like that scenario.
Yeah.
A lot of the popular Fortnite streamers have switched to WoW Classic. I know that like Ninja, Tim the Tatman, I think Dr. Lupo was playing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And those are the big ones. So there's a lot of probably a lot of put off people. So that was the World of Warcraft. Oh, one last thing, Corey. Remember Cube World?
Yep.
Cube World is finally coming out. I guess later this month or next month.
Cool.
I feel like one of us owns it because I know I played it a little bit in beta or early access, but it is coming out.
Would it be on Steam?
It is on Steam. Yeah, that's where I played it. Well, maybe not, because we did an episode on it. I think like 4 or 5 years ago.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Trove?
Trove, that's what I'm thinking of. Yes, you're right. It is Trove because they're very similar games.
Yep.
So. Yep. Yeah, it is Trove. My mistake. But I'm interested in Cube World. I'll probably give it a shot at some point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't like Trove because I don't remember why I didn't like Trove. There was a very specific reason why I didn't like it, and now I can't remember. But I feel like Cube World is a little bit more like Dragon Quest Builders.
Yeah.
Oh my God, such a good game.
Shane loves Dragon Quest Builders.
Oh, I'm getting that at some point. I once it comes on sale, I am buying that because it looks awesome. Okay. I think that's it for Nibblewitz. Do you guys have any new game news you want to talk about? Nothing. Yeah.
There's something dropping tonight. I can't remember the name of it, but something's coming out tonight.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's kind of a big deal. Corey, how's your week?
Good. I don't think I really have done anything noteworthy. But we've been watching Carnival Row. Did I talk about when was I on last? I don't remember.
Was it? It was when we did our WoW Classic episode. It was last week.
Oh, that was just last week. So then I probably
But
talked about what I've
But
been
I think it was
watching
on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday or Monday that we recorded? It was a weird day.
Okay. Shoot, what did I watch? I know I've watched a bunch of things I wanted to talk about. Oh, I finished I have 2 more episodes of the new Twilight Zone reboot to watch. There's one episode that I really enjoyed. I'll just briefly give the setup. So it's near future. Space explorers on the launch pad, ready to go. And then all of a sudden, North Korea nukes the United States. And they have to decide, they have 10 minutes to decide whether they want to take off and save themselves from total annihilation or just die on planet Earth with everyone else. Really interesting setup. And then there's a nice twist at the end because you think it's going, if you know anything about the Twilight Zone, you think it's going one direction because you've seen it before in the Twilight Zone, but then it kind of takes it in another direction that I really appreciated. So some of those episodes are really good in that series. I don't know if any of you guys have watched any of those.
No.
It's on, I think it's only on, yeah, I think it's only on CBS All Access. I don't know that it's on anywhere else, but I paid for CBS All Access like 3 months ago and forgot that I had paid for it because I planned on binging all of that and all of Star Trek Discovery, but I never got through either. And then just forgot I had the subscription until this week. So
when you had to pay for it again?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I looked at my Mint app and it reminded me that I had been paying for it. So it's all right. It's $10 a month. Not too bad. But other than that, Carnival Row, Bachelor in Paradise is heating up. They're winding down. I know you guys are really, really jonesing for that Bachelor in Paradise gossip. But you'll just have to watch. I'm not gonna spoil anything. So.
My wife wants to talk with you about it.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. Sophie and I are definitely addicted. Although once it gets towards the end and they start like deciding who's going to get engaged and all the drama has kind of subsided, I totally lose interest.
It's less fun to watch.
I don't care anymore. Yeah, I don't care anymore. And then shoot, what's the other one? Oh, The Boys. We finally finished The Boys.
Such a good show.
Gotta watch The Boys. Show. Yeah, of everything that might be my favorite show I've watched this year. Highly recommend The Boys. Very watchable. Great characters.
Not for the kids.
Not for the kids, no.
What's that on?
Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. So sort of the darker, seedier side of superheroes. I think I might have mentioned it last episode, but yeah, we did finish it, and I highly recommend it. So.
Okay. Cool.
Other than that, not much. Just working and coming home and watching TV.
Nice. All right. Shane, what do you got?
As far as
your week, just anything you got going on? Yeah, gaming stuff, movies, TV, tech.
We are currently going through Ozark on Netflix. Me and my girlfriend Laura. A little slow on that. We finished. We stopped that for a little while to watch The Boys. We both binge watched that pretty quickly.
It's a little different from Ozark.
Yeah.
I do like Ozark though. I've only seen the first season.
I think we're just about done with the first season, but it's a good show.
Yeah.
Slowly getting back into it, but yeah, The Boys was awesome. As far as video games, me and Corey have played Gears a couple times this past week, but I've been playing Remnant with Brian quite a bit. The game's awesome.
Nice.
Addicting.
I look forward
difficulty
to
curve. Yeah. And then Fortnite. Okay. I can't put down Fortnite.
Nice.
It gets frustrating. I think every time I hop on, it's going to be a little bit different, but I get clapped quite quickly. So.
Nice.
I think that's it for game.
Okay. What about you, Brian? What do you got for us?
As far as TV, usually we just have like reruns of New Girl and whatnot going on in the apartment. But we just got back from seeing It 2, which oddly enough was pretty good. I appreciated the ending. I mean, I'm not a huge It fan, but it was good. Finally watched John Wick 2 yesterday. to get prepared for 3. What else? Oh, and also the girlfriend and I decided to start rewatching Reno 911. So,
Fiance.
That's a great show.
I'm sorry, fiance. But a little joke between her and I is she never watched it before because she thought it was a real cop show and she thought it was extremely stupid. She thought it was real life, like this really happens. So we started watching that, and it's been a lot of fun. Usually not much of a TV movie watcher, so this week's kind of out of the ordinary. But as far as games go, what have I playing lately? Other than Remnant and a little bit of Gears, Greedfall. I picked that up.
Okay.
Not familiar with that one.
Oh, you're in
it's
for
kind of
a treat,
like a double A RPG. It's not like full price. I think it was like 50, but it lacks a little bit of polish. But so far, it's got a great storyline. I mean, the gameplay hook is definitely there. Satisfying combat.
Yeah.
But a little rough around the edges. But
Corey, it's supposed to be like a BioWare RPG, but it's set in like a colonial expansion type setting.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It's like semi-fictitious too,
Yep.
so it's not like fully based on history, but
it's got
nice.
It's got like mythical creatures and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. No, I've heard good things about that. That's one I'm gonna definitely. It's coming to consoles, right? It's on Steam right now, but it's coming to consoles.
No, yeah, I'm playing on the Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was only on Steam for some reason. Okay, you know what? I think it's coming to. No, maybe not. It's coming to Switch. Again, I get all my games crossed in my news. So, but if it comes to the Switch, I will buy it immediately.
This looks like something I might want to play.
Yeah.
Is it? It's not on Game Pass, is it?
No. I could see it going on Game Pass in like maybe a few months, 5-6 months, but
Yeah.
Okay.
not currently.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that looks awesome. Give this a go.
Let's see my week. I got a couple things. So I had a birthday this past week.
Yay.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I turned 36 on Tuesday. The years they go by faster and faster every year, and you know, my mom and dad always said that when we were growing up, but you just don't realize it until as you get older. It goes by too fast. So, my wife got me a couple cool things though. She got me a Cersei Funko Pop. When she's wearing a certain dress where she channels Tywin's fashion sense. Corey, I'm not going to spoil the event, but I always rave about that specific dress when she wears it because it looks awesome.
Yeah.
So
I think I can picture what you're talking about.
Yeah. So she got me that. She got me an Air Aria shirt, which I showed you a picture of, Corey. Which I also wanted.
Yeah, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that it was.
It's the Air Jordan,
like the Air Jordan, but it's Air Aria.
Yep.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And then she got me a Celeste shirt that just came today, which is awesome. It's Madeline like reaching for the strawberry.
Oh, neat.
Her drawn figure, not the pixelated figure. So, which is good because I only had like 4 shirts that I rotated. Because I wear shirts so often so much that for so long that they get holes in them and I throw them out. And then I don't buy myself clothes ever. Although I did order myself, it's Blink-182's logo, but it's got Link on it, so it's Link 182, which is a cool mashup, I thought. So I ordered one of those. That's coming, I think, sometime next week.
Did you get that on Shirtwoot?
No, it was TeePublic, I think.
Okay.
I think that's where the Celeste shirt came from too. I don't know. I think maybe the Air Aria shirt's from Amazon. But yeah, I also I'm going on almost a month now since I sent in my Joy-Cons for repair. For about a week now, they said that they've been in service. I still don't know when I'm gonna get them back. So, and because my son hogs the other one, the one good left Joy-Con we had, I bought myself a Hori D-pad Joy-Con, which was $15 on sale, which is a lot less than I think if you just buy an individual Joy-Con, it's like $40. But it's a pretty nicely built Joy-Con. It only works in handheld mode though, so don't. But it's got the full D-pad, so if you're looking to play like old pixelated games, it's perfect for those. I was gonna try Celeste with it because I played most of Celeste with the little circular buttons, and it was more difficult than it probably needed to be. But it works really well. It feels just like one of the other Joy-Cons, but it's a little bit lighter. And then the buttons click a little bit differently to the shoulder buttons and the trigger buttons, which was a little off-putting at first, but it was okay. So I mainly got it so I could actually play Astral Chain, because our one good Joy-Con that we do have left started drifting really badly. And I could not play Astral Chain with how much it was drifting, and just the precision movement that you needed. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I saw that one of those is on sale. I was like, you know what, $15 if I hate it, it's fine. $15, it's not too bad. But I really like it. I'll probably end up using it more than the regular left Joy-Cons from when I finally get them back. So
What was the repair that you said? And was it because my first Switch has the black Joy-Cons in it. They just like disconnect if they're not attached to the Switch.
Yeah.
So you'll be running around and
they pop off.
Yeah.
Yep. So two of them were my son's Joy-Cons, and they did the same thing. They would slide off like super easy, and both of them actually also drifted really, really badly. And then my left Joy-Con that I sent in, one of the shoulder buttons didn't work. I think it was the shoulder button, not the trigger, but it was a left Joy-Con. So yeah, both of his got sent in, and then my left one for the broken shoulder button. But I'm like, I know they'll fix the drifting ones. I don't even know if they're gonna fix my bumper button thing. I hope they do, but at least they're doing it for free.
Yeah, I don't mean that. I was gonna ask how much they charge, but not like coming off of the Switch, but like
they just disconnect.
So like Mario Kart, you play that, and all of a sudden your guy just drifts off to the side. Really? She was playing Zelda, and he would just run off the cliff if you're too far away. If there's too many like Bluetooth interferences.
So that they had a problem with that when they first came out. The certain versions of them had like something was blocking the antenna inside, and they had to separate it with like a piece of foam. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it would just randomly like stop inputting anything. Yeah, they fixed that for free too, which is nice.
I have to send them in. Did you have to send both of them in?
I sent 3 in all at once.
Okay.
Luckily we had 3 pairs of Joy-Cons. So like I said, the one left Joy-Con that we have left is starting to drift really bad now. And my son gets frustrated because he's put like 400 hours into Breath of the Wild. So yeah. I mean, I wish I had been able to like. The cool thing about that is, I wish I'd been able to see how many hours I put into games when I played them back in the day. There was no way to tell unless like Final Fantasy 3 had the hour counter on it, but that it was only for one game. It wasn't a cross game. So it's interesting to see how many hours now that there's hour counters. Yeah, Corey, I was just saying, Max has like 400 hours on Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god, good for him.
That's really
like half his life.
He's really good at it too.
Last time I checked, I only had 120 hours, but I played a bit more than that.
Yeah, I think I have 215 across a regular mode playthrough and master mode. I never finished my master mode, but so good. Dang. But yeah, that's all I had for my week. Let's get into what we played. So I want to hear about Revenant. You guys, let's talk about Revenant.
Remnant.
Not Revenant.
Big difficulty curve. It is a very difficult game to play. But I started a little while after Brian started playing, and I was always playing catch up and always playing on his game, so it didn't boost my level up enough. So I was constantly dying, and he was always reviving me, and that's pretty much how every gameplay went. But Brian's played it a lot, and he's beat it a couple times, I think.
Yeah, I played through it. I think I just beat it on the second difficult. There's 3 difficulties: normal, hard, and nightmare. And I just beat it on hard. But that's another game that's also procedurally generated too, so that adds to the replayability. But a lot of people compare it to like a Dark Souls-esque kind of game as far as the difficulty, and like to re-heal yourself, you save at a bonfire. But in this game, it's a crystal. Same concept, but after playing, like I played a few Dark Souls and then playing this is difficult, but it's nowhere near as difficult as like Dark Souls or Bloodborne. But it still walks like the same line. But it's very rewarding. It's not a looter shooter because the stuff you get, it's few and far between. But the cool thing is, with it being randomly generated, is that the loot I get is different than the loot that, say, like Shane got, unless I was playing with him, of course. So you have to have multiple playthroughs so you can encounter all the bosses and whatnot.
Yeah, one thing I heard about that game too was how varied the environments are. Because, like you said, they're procedurally generated, but they're also like you go into a bunch of different places. Like you could be in a I think they use the example like you could be in a old broken down temple, or you could be like walking through a broken down like city block, and there's all these different settings that they mix and match too because it's procedurally generated.
Yeah. So the best
So
way
it's
to explain it is probably there's maybe 4 to 5 different biomes.
okay.
Like you
Biomes.
start out in the dilapidated dark city, and then it moves on to like I believe like a deserty kind of.
Yeah, I think the Desert was the second one.
Yeah. So
Okay. And
it
then
is a great game.
yeah, and the bosses are all procedurally generated too, so you never end up fighting the same bosses, right? Do you just go fight the bosses, or is there like mini enemies too?
No, you progress through like the different areas, and then the areas like break off into different like boss encounters. But with
Okay.
them being procedurally generated, you might fight one boss in this area, whereas someone else might have fought 3.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
Neat.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard it's a bit like Dark Souls with guns.
yeah, that's what a lot of people are slapping
Okay.
on it.
Is there melee weapons too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. God, cool. Is that PC only? Is that on Xbox, PS4?
All major consoles.
Okay.
So, yeah, PS4, Xbox,
All
PC.
right. That's one I definitely have to look into.
Yeah, same. Oof.
It's time.
I know. It sucks. There's so many games I want to play.
I just wish I didn't have to sleep. That would make life a lot easier. Even though I like sleep, I would if I had to give it up, it would be fine. Okay. You want to talk about Greedfall a little bit?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm maybe 10 to 15 hours into it. I have a bad habit of whenever I start a new game, especially RPGs, playing it on the hardest difficulty, so I have to go a little slower.
Okay.
So this one I'm playing on the hardest of 4 difficulties. It's not that bad. It's you die a few times other than that, but as far as the setting goes, like you said, colonial, a really cool setting. The storyline so far has been great, and one thing I've noticed that's kind of uncommon in these kind of games, the side quests are very elaborate. Like they're not just generic run, go get this, bring it back, like fetch quests. They're very intricate. It's very hard to distinguish what a side quest is and what a main story quest is
Oh, cool.
because they're very well written.
Yeah.
But
I've heard it
it's got
does the multiple pathways through completing an objective really well too.
yeah, exactly. So you can track, like say that there's 3 ways to complete an objective. You can select which one you want to track and complete it that way, based
Oh.
on like your charisma stat or your vigor stat, or different stats that you can distribute in your character. But it is also semi loot based as far as like I'm not sure what I'd compare it to. Maybe like an Assassin's Creed, like one of the newer ones, like different colored tier loots that you can get throughout the game. But if you're an RPG like BioWare fan, like old Dragon Age, even like the original Mass Effect, it's very similar to those.
Nice. Speaking my language there.
Yeah.
Love it. What do you think, Corey? Another purchase?
Yeah, another game I'm gonna have to play. I think. I'm watching some gameplay video on Twitch right now.
Okay.
Brian, is there exploration?
Yeah, yes. It's not open. I guess you can also compare it to Dragon Age. I don't know if you guys played Inquisition.
Mm-hmm.
It's not open world, but it's like open areas. Like you have to go through a loading screen to get to each area.
Gotcha.
But within each area, they're quite large, similar to like Witcher and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a good amount of exploration, and it's satisfying with the loot base too. So as far as the loot drops and what you get like in chests or off enemies. So
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
That
Yeah. I'm
sounds
gonna have to
awesome.
play this one.
Yep. I'm with you. Okay. Shane, did you have any other games you want to talk about?
The only one that I've been playing a lot is Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Okay.
I am so addicted to that game, which is ironic. So Minecraft, I absolutely hate Minecraft. But with this, I think it fits my OCD nicely. It tells me what to do, what to build, where every block has to go, whereas Minecraft isn't like that. It's just whatever you want to do. I think that's a big reason why I like Dragon Quest. Not a fan of all the dialogue in it, but the game's so addicting.
Okay.
I absolutely love the game.
Playing on Switch?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it's also on PS4, right?
yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Switch is the way to play that though, so you can take it anywhere.
Oh, definitely.
All right.
How many hours do you have in that, Shane?
I can tell you. Hold on.
He has to go get his calculator.
I remember when he told me, I was like blown away.
Nice.
Well,
Again, it's a nice thing to have is the hour counter.
I never really took Shane as an RPG guy.
Same here.
I'm
I've always tried to get
usually
him to
not.
play them.
Play 45 hours.
45. Nice.
Okay. Nice. All right, Corey.
What?
Anything you played? You want to talk about?
I don't think I played anything else. I played Gears. I mean, I'm still playing Rocket League, and Hearthstone, which are my go-tos in the fall, on pretty much every month of the year except for the summer months, maybe like July and August. I don't play Rocket League and Hearthstone just because there's no time. But
Sure.
Recently back into it.
How badly do you
really
get
to
beat
add.
in Rocket League?
Not badly at all.
Okay.
Diamond 2, I think. I just got my rank assignment for standard. I'm like Platinum 4 in doubles. This is on Xbox. I think Xbox is a little bit easier to get a higher rank than PC. But I don't know. Just easily. I think I could say at this point the most fun video game I've ever played.
That's high praise.
Yeah, just raw fun.
Okay.
Maybe not the best game I've played ever overall, but definitely the game I've had the most fun with.
Sure.
Overall.
Over the hundreds of hours you probably put into it, right?
I mean, at this point we're over 1,000.
Also, oh wow. Also, very high peaks, very low lows, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's one of those.
Putting it lightly. Yeah.
It's a roller coaster then.
I'm in my own head a little bit recently in that I am telling myself that I'm unable to close out close games, which isn't a good thing to be in your own head about.
No, it's one of those things that athletes suffer from a lot of
Exactly.
times.
Yeah, because once you start thinking about it is when you start. I mean, and again, it's an athlete analogy, but you start gripping the stick a little tighter.
Yeah.
You know, gripping the controller a little tighter, and you're less fluid, and you slow down a little bit, and you hesitate a little bit more, and
It's
stop playing your game.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Corey. I don't think I said this, but I bought Ninja's book that just came out about how to get good or whatever. I was just curious on because I'd only recently I've been aware of him, but been interested in him. But he that's one of the things he brings up is you gotta have the confidence that you can go in there and get the job done. Similar to like a professional athlete. Once you start second guessing yourself, it affects absolutely everything else when you're playing any game. Doesn't matter what it is.
You know what it reminded me of too? It reminded me of back when I used to play a lot of beer pong, and those like first couple games after you just have one or two, you do really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it's downhill, at least for me, anyways. But
yeah, well, if you do really well too, you're on the table longer and drinking more, and you're eventually just gonna lose.
Right. But those couple drinks get you out of your head.
Yeah.
You stop thinking about it and you just play.
Yeah. Very true. Okay. Corey, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. So the only thing like relatively newish that I have to play is or that I've been playing is Astral Chain. Which I think I talked about a little bit last week, but it's definitely starts off slow. It's got the whole platinum combat system, which I love, but when I first started playing it felt kind of slow and clunky. But it wasn't until I finished the third case that's when things started to open up and it started to make sense. And it's been really fun to sort of unlock it because you have you're attached to this like this being from another dimension, and you kind of fight alongside them and with them and control them kind of. It's a really interesting dance when you're in the thick of it. It's one of those games where once you get used to the controls and stuff, your muscle memory kind of takes over and you just wipe out a room full of enemies and you're like, wow, and not only did that feel really good, it also looked super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're sending them out, and right now I have the sword one, the bow one, and then there's one with like giant fists. They all have different uses. So not only are you fighting all these different guys with your different weapons, because you have a gun, a sword, and a baton. That do have different strengths against different types of enemies, but the legions that you have also have different strengths against different kind of enemies, and just the way they made it so easy to like change all that stuff that it just, I don't know, it just works so well, and it's such a nice feeling when you clear out a room. But there's also a lot more to that game than just the combat. There's a lot of investigation stuff, so you have to solve mysteries by talking to people. There's an investigation thing. I think I mentioned this last week. That's almost like the Batman Arkham Asylum. So it'll highlight like clues and stuff on your thing that you need to investigate or what have you. There's a lot of other gameplay elements in addition to just the really cool combat system. So I'm really liking it so far. I probably am about 8 hours in. Like I said, I just got the new Joy-Con over the last weekend, so I've been able to actually play it. But yeah, so far so good on that one. It's amazing how good it looks too. I'm always surprised at how cool the graphics are and how good the graphics are on the Switch. It's unbelievable. So another winner for Platinum there.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how it's selling.
I don't know.
Just because it doesn't have like a Bayonetta name attached to it or anything,
No, yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see sales figures, but it's definitely a worthy play. And I think that's all I play. I mean, I've got a bunch of games I'm juggling right. I'm still playing Pokemon Uranium, Corey.
Nice.
Which is cool. Link to the Past I'm playing. I just started a new Breath of the Wild Master Mode playthrough.
I watched a little of your Rated G Games playthrough of Link to the Past.
Oh yeah, that game's so good.
Yeah.
I was playing on the SNES Classic. I could almost play it on the Switch now, but I would have to start over. I wish I wish the SNES Classic and the Switch would transfer save files.
That would be cool.
Yeah, there's no way of doing that, but that's okay.
Not when it's Nintendo. Give them 100 years and they'll figure that out.
Well, not quite, because Corey, I don't know if you knew, but Divinity has cross saves between PC and the Switch version.
Oh, really? What, did you just have to log in with your Larian Studios account or something?
Yeah, however it works, but apparently it works pretty well. And same thing with Civ. Civ does that too. You can save a game and pull it up on your Switch.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is a selling point.
Yes, it is. I'm gonna buy Divinity on the Switch. It's just a matter of when, because I'm like 30 hours into it. I would probably just continue my save that I had started.
Yeah, knowing that, I'll probably end up getting it on Switch too.
So, all right. Anything else anyone wants to talk about? Let me just double check and make sure we have feedback. So if you guys have anything else you want to mention, now's the time.
I got nothing, Dan.
Yeah. Like I said, we haven't had feedback in a couple weeks because we haven't been recording at normal times the past couple of weeks. So, yeah, no feedback. So, next week's episode, Corey, do you have any idea what you want to do? Will said he's actually going to be on next week, so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably too early for a Borderlands episode.
Yeah, you probably want to wait till the week after, I would think.
Yeah. I don't know.
Although that'll interfere with Link's Awakening, which we don't want to do.
No, we do not.
Pumped
I don't
for
know.
that.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, well, it'll probably be Wednesday next week, because Will did specifically say he would be good to record Wednesday night. So hopefully we can get back to a normal recording schedule. But I say that every week. It hasn't happened in a couple months. So yeah, that's everything. Shane, thanks for joining us. Brian, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. It was fun.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
love to have you guys back on. If there's any new games that are coming out that you want to cover with us, by all means.
Yeah, definitely.
We're always looking for experts on games too. So if there's a certain game that you just want to talk about, yeah.
Yeah,
Always
because we play everything. It's not enough time to really get good at anything. So, right, Corey?
Yeah. It's a tough life.
Yeah. All right. That'll do it for episode 424 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
Corey.
Shane.
And Brian.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement.